supposed to have some games.
Well, the end is here for the 78 parts car. Well, I guess the end had already happened years ago when this car was left abandoned, left under a tree, until I found it on Craigslist, and served well for me as far as a parts car goes. You know, I've owned this car for about a year and a half, and oddly enough, I have a history with this car that dates back 15 years ago, back to about 1996 or 97. I have a bunch of videos on this car, when I first got it, when I found it, and just kind of some fun things that I did with the car before I took it off the road. I got it running after it was sitting for so long, so definitely check out those videos. I tell the story about the history on this car and how it dates back, like I said, 15 years ago. So the end is here for this car. I am done stripping it of parts, of all of its parts that I need for it or from it. And this is the car that had the 403 with the Turbo 350 tranny in it that is now in my 79 Cutlass Calais, and that is pretty much the entire reason why I bought this car. And oddly enough, and you know, it really didn't surprise me that I found a whole lot of other parts that I ended up using from this car. You know, a lot of people were asking me questions about this car, or questioning my decision on why I was parting it out, and I showed in detail reasons why. You know, because it did run good when I got it running, and it ran and drove, but this car was sitting for about 8 or so years, if not longer, under a tree on grass. So that's a deadly combination for any car. The floorboards rotted out. The roof is actually, as you can see, rusted completely through. The A-pillars are gone. The base of the A-pillars are gone. The whole top of the roof is completely rotted out. And I, you know, as I took this car apart, I found out many more areas of this car that had rusted. The cowl was rusted out just because of all the debris and the crap that was sitting in it for so long. There's a better shot of the roof on this side. Completely gone. So, and you can see the quarter panels. I mean, this car, there was absolutely no saving this car whatsoever. So, having a little fun there. So, basically just stripped all the parts I needed off of it. I pulled the front bumper and rear bumper off of it. Sold that. I sold the bucket seats and the console out of it. Sold the bucket seat brackets out of it. You know, in regards to selling parts off this car, and I made my money back just by selling parts off of it, and I ended up getting myself a free driveline, and that was the whole point of this car. And since I already made my money back on it, I'll be getting, you know, 150 bucks a ton for scrap. And you can see how low the back of this thing is, because I have the trunk just filled with junk. Yes, a lot of junk in my trunk. Let me open it up here. Got the screwdriver handy, because I took the lock set out of this thing. There you go. The trunk is just filled with scrap metal. It's just sagging down in the back to the ground. Completely full. Got axles in here, got an old snowblower, all sorts of metal in here. So, you know, just filling this thing up because obviously you get money for scrap metal. I also got a couple catalytic converters that I emptied out. I emptied out the pellets out of them because I heard you can get money for those pellets as well. And there's some more scrap metal that's going to go inside. So this car's done. Moby's turned this thing into a, look at that. He's turned into a cat house. He's been sleeping in this thing for weeks. He comes out here, jumps through the hole in the floor, and makes himself at home in here. Don't you, Moby? Yeah, you like it. You like it in here. You're gonna lose your home though. So I took everything out. I kept the steering column because it was a console shift column. Filling the inside with junk. I took the wiring harness out of it, and a bunch of other stuff. Got the transmission buried in junk there. This is the transmission out of my Cavalier that's sitting in there. A bunch of other junk. Got a dashboard out of the dash pad out of the 83 Silverado sitting in here. A bunch of other junk. Sweet dreams, Moby. And you know, this car has had so much work done to it, even prior to me. The previous owner of this car, before it was left abandoned, did so much work to this car. He paid a lot of money to have work done to it, because this car is white right now, and when I started digging into it and taking parts off of it, I found out that the original color of this car was silver. As you can see right there, both fenders are silver. The door bottoms were replaced at one time with an entire section. The lower quarter panels were replaced, and it had all new brake lines and fuel lines, which of course had rotted back off over time. It had a new junction block for the brakes, which I took. I mean, I stripped this car down to nothing. And when Hurricane Sandy, let me lower this hood. When Hurricane Sandy, hold on one second. There we go. When Hurricane Sandy came through, we actually got a lot of wind come through here, and since I didn't have a core support in it, keeping the hood down, the wind came through here and flipped the hood right up onto the windshield and bent the hood. The hood was garbage anyways, of course, just because it was completely rusted out, as you can see. But I just wanted to show you what the storm did to this thing when it flipped it up. It bent the hinges real bad. It bent the hood all up, and the hood come back and hit the windshield. So, I mean, this car's done, and what I'll do is I'll take one more video of it, loading it up onto the trailer. I got it, you know, back on its wheels. I had it sitting on logs for a long time when I was stripping parts off of it. Got it back on the wheels so we can roll it up onto the trailer, and I'll film one more video of us rolling it up onto the trailer and hauling the car off to the junkyard. There's Moby. Did I disturb you, Moby? So that'll be the end of it, and hopefully I'll be able to film a video of this car being grabbed by the old claw off of the trailer. I know some junkyards are a little iffy about filming video in their facility, but I'll try to get that done. But that's it for the 78 Cutlass parts car. Go ahead and check out the playlist that I have on this car, and also subscribe to my channel, because I have all sorts of G-body projects, Chevy C10 projects, and of course I appreciate all your comments and everyone who participates in my channel.